There we go. I remembered. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight to our Monday Night Challenger Zoom. It's been cool making the switch. I hope you've enjoyed having your Sunday evenings. I'm excited to lean in tonight with Megan, and I just wanted to share something real quick with you guys before she talks um, that I was talking about before I hit record. So, something we do in our challenge group is pick one thing each week to focus on, like out of your laundry list of things you want to do, right? And so, my one thing this week is tracking. If any of you guys have not ever, but maybe you like got the challenge pack for MBF and you got a tracking book, but you never used it, you've never written down your food. Um, I didn't want to do that when I first started 7 years ago because I had very disordered eating growing up. And I was afraid if I wrote my food down, I would obsess about it. When actually, it kind of had the opposite effect. It showed me I like why I wasn't seeing the results I wanted to see. And it started to help me see where I needed to eat more. A lot of you guys might not realize it, but a lot of times we just don't eat enough. We eat too much of maybe the carbs, but not enough of anything else. And so after 7 years, I've followed clean eating, followed To Be Mindset ish, and a little bit of Portion Fix kind of combined. But in the last 3 months, that my life has gotten a lot out of control. And I've noticed I'm doing the programs and I'm getting results, but I'm having a lot of bloating and like inflammation. And the only way to figure that out is to be honest about what I'm eating. And the only way to be honest about it is to write it down. So I want to encourage you, if you have felt like you were doing these programs, and you're drinking your shake and you're doing all the supplements, but you're still not, you feel like something, it's like you're not seeing the results, start by just writing down what you're eating first and then pick a program. Like if you have the challenge pack, the new challenge packs all include both nutrition programs and they're both good. I feel like you could do both of them and kind of almost create or follow, they complement each other. But my point is, don't do what I did and be afraid of writing it down because nutrition really is 80%. And you get to a place where you can wing things sometimes, but then after a while you get tired and you get complacent. And so when you first start tracking your food, don't worry so much about following the rules. Just write down what you're eating so you get comfortable, like being okay with what you're putting in your mouth. You know what I mean? And then start tweaking stuff. And I just wanted to say that because we're getting ready to go into the holidays. And if there's one time that I feel like it's really important to track your food, it's during the holidays because you learn to like not feel bad about the pumpkin pie because you chose it instead of like, if you don't write it down, you still ate it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? For Halloween, you have to write down you had like 25 mini Snickers, which I've totally, y'all, I don't even touch the Halloween candy because it's like crack to me. If I put one piece in my mouth, I can't stop. And then I get really sick from the sugar. Like my body will, yeah, you want to know. It's like it gets mad at me. So I end up getting myself like a treat that I can have that is not like good candy, not like carrots and hummus instead of a Snickers bar, like legit treat. But anyway, but owning it because then you don't feel shame about it anymore. And so if you have that stigma of like, I don't want to write down what I eat because I don't want to obsess about it, you'll actually obsess more about what you eat when you don't write it down, I found, than when you do. And so if you have a tracking book, use it. If you don't just get a notebook. And I just wanted to share that because this is what I'm focusing on. Like even today I wrote things down. I'm like, way to go, Cal. You ate a lot of veggies today. Not a lot of protein. Wish I could count chocolate for that, but that's okay. Like I'm working on it. So no, tomorrow I know try a little more protein. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's what I got. I'm gonna hand it over to Miss Megan and let her take over.
Oh, hey. First of all, my 7-month-old will not chill. So if he screams, just go with it, okay? But before I start, I wanted to share about the Bevy because I tried it. And when I first tried it, I hated it. because I thought it tasted like chapstick. But let me tell you, I only thought that the first time I had it. And I don't know if I just mixed it the wrong way or I just needed to like acquire a taste for it or something, but I love it now. Like, love it. I think it's so good and super refreshing. I like putting way more water than it says, because maybe I just like things watered down. I don't know. But I think it's really good. And I have been in a very bad habit. Jake, go pick up some dessert on your way home. And oh, I could bake some dessert tonight. Or where are the chocolate chips that we had? So every single night, I mean, every night, maybe sometimes during the day too, having a treat. And that is not getting me anywhere in my progress. So I started drinking the bevy when I wanted dessert, which is usually like immediately after dinner, um, or maybe a little bit later or right after lunch. And it helps so much because I use Shakeology a lot of the times to curb my sweet cravings, but I only get that once and I needed something else. And the bevy definitely satisfies my sweet craving. Yeah, I just really like that part of it. And it tastes really good. I don't know why I didn't like it the first time, but I just wanted to say that because I wanted to be honest, but I also wanted to say it because sometimes I think we try products and we don't like them the first time and we don't give ourselves a second chance, but oftentimes we just need to try things again and our body will be like, I like that before or after our mind is kind of like hesitant. So that's the bevy. Tonight, I want to talk to you about mindset. I'm a little bit nervous to talk about it because it's a little bit different than I think we usually hear about mindset. But the reason that we as a team want to talk about mindset frequently is because when we are on our health journey, we really can only get so far if we don't pay attention and tap into our mindset. I really believe that your action rises and falls on your mindset. I think a lot of times we hear people say like use affirmations, or just kind of push through it, just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Be determined and have a strong will and whatever. But those things, affirmations can be very, very, very helpful. Don't get me wrong. But they can also get in the way. And they can invite in frustration. And this is definitely my experience because if we're covering up something we need to deal with, or our emotions are telling us something that is important, and we're just trying to affirm it away, we're never going to overcome what that emotion is trying to tell us we need to deal with. So I've experienced this a lot recently. It's something that I've been trying to work on, is welcoming in my emotions, and getting curious about why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling rather than getting frustrated by how I'm feeling. I think we live in a society that makes us think that we want to live happy dappy all the time, and like that's not a reality. And if we're seeking happiness constantly, then sometimes we're not dealing with the real raw emotion of our day-to-day life. So it's really helped me to be more attentive to what I need and then be more consistent in my healthy habits. So here's the thing. We all have goals. Goals are really, really good. So I want us to just take a minute to revisit your goals. If you have pen and paper, just write them down. If you know what they are, it's going to be a revisiting. If you haven't made goals or thought about your goals in a while, just kind of write down what you feels on your heart that you want out of your health and fitness habits right now. I'll give you some examples while you're doing that. For me, I want to lose the last 10 pounds of my baby weight. I want to complete 30-day breakaway, fit in my pre-pregnancy clothes comfortably. Maybe you want to drink your Shakeology for a week straight. Maybe you want to drink a certain amount of water. Maybe you want to be able to do a certain workout move, like 5 push-ups on your toes, run a mile without stopping. Maybe it's bigger. Maybe you want to run a marathon. I don't know. Just kind of revisit your goals or jot down what your goals are. And don't feel like they have to be perfect. If you're just thinking of them now, you can revisit this after the call and kind of fine tune them. Okay, so now you have some of your goals written down. And now ask, what do you need to do to reach your goals? What are the actions that you need to take to reach your goals? Like for me, to lose the 10 pounds and fit in my clothes, I know I need to follow my containers, and that means that I need to have a menu every single week so I buy the right groceries. Because if the food's not in my house, then who knows what I'm eating. That means I have to communicate with Jake when I need to work out. In the past, it's been I need to choose what time I drink my shake. Okay, so we know what our goals are. We know what we need to do to reach those goals. But here is the thing, is even though we know what we want, we know how to get it, there's things that happen in our mindset, and there's things that we experience in our life that stops us from doing the things. And it's not because we're weak, and it's not because we suck, and it's not because there's something wrong with us. It's because life is hard. And I'm bouncing on an exercise ball. That's why I'm bouncing. But when we start, we can feel really motivated because we're really excited about the goals we have. But then, you come home from work one day and your patients were so rude to you, or your supervisor didn't treat you well, or every time you went to work out, your kid screamed and turned off the TV, or your baby woke up when he wasn't supposed to, or no, it's not, Emily. But things get in the way, right? And even more so, our mindset gets in the way. I have definitely worked out before where I go to work out and I just feel tired. I feel fatigued. I don't feel strong. I don't feel confident in my body. And I don't want to do the workout because all the stuff in my head is so hard to deal with. Makes me not want to show up. And if I just say, just do it, or just push through, my coach would be able to push through. She wants me to push through, or I say, just follow the rules. Or I say, I am a strong, athletic woman and I can do this. Sometimes, and oftentimes, if you're just saying, just do it for sure, you could be masking some emotions that you actually need to get curious about and deal with. And so, my advice, and this has always been my advice, but I'm learning a little bit more why it makes sense, is to get in that icky place where things don't feel good and where you don't like yourself and where you feel like you are not strong enough to deal with the pain in your life, and ask yourself, what am I feeling? And what do I need? It's really hard to do this. So just give yourself grace because a lot of times I find that I don't even know what I'm feeling. I just am feeling. But get in that place. And like I said, there's been times where I've come to a workout and I've been like, oh, I feel blah in my body and I just don't feel strong enough and I'm tired and I'm frustrated and da 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 da. So when I first became a coach, I was 3.5 years ago, and I was doing my second round of 21 Day Fix, and I was going on vacation with my family. My family is wonderful. I love them. But in my past, things have not been so great. I've been hurt. I've experienced trauma. I have had an eating disorder. Relationships with my family members have not always been awesome. And it's not that they're bad people. I'm not saying that, but they were the people who were around me when I experienced certain things in my life that were really, really hard or really traumatic. And so when I went on that vacation, I wanted to continue doing 21 Day Fix. And I was still insecure about people seeing me work out. One of my sisters is a lifelong athlete, and she goes to a CrossFit gym. She's also a doctor. If you look at her, you think she's got it all figured out, right? And she's one of those people that you just do it. She's headstrong. You just do it. But I clearly had some triggers happening and had some really hard things that I was facing without even realizing it. Guys, I did not know this at the time. I see it in hindsight. But when I went to work out, I felt very uncomfortable. I felt very weak, insecure. I couldn't push myself as hard as I could when I was at home in the comfort of my home with just my husband and my baby. And it really made me mad. And I just beat myself up in my head. I didn't get curious about why it made me mad, or why I was feeling negative feelings. And I gave up and I cried. And now, when I'm feeling negative feelings, when I feel weak or I feel frustrated or sad and it's time to work out, what I do is I bring that to the workout. And instead of trying to battle with it when I'm working out and saying, no, like, get away, I don't want to feel that right now because I'm trying to be productive, I say, all right, come with me. And so I'll work out and I'll be frustrated and I won't think about it. I'll just be frustrated. And what happens is it energizes me and I get the workout done. And then when I'm done with the workout, I don't feel frustrated anymore because I did it, right? Like, and it's not just doing it. I gave myself permission to feel whatever I wanted to feel. And I think sometimes we just don't give ourselves permission to be upset that things are hard because we think that things shouldn't be hard in order for us to be successful. And that's a big fat freaking lie. Like, life is hard. No matter what you do to try to avoid pain, life is hard. And it means we have needs because we're unique and we experience life in unique ways. So let me just check my notes, make sure I'm on track here.
Megan, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
So I posted this in the chat and Megan has access to it. So, but I just put together this week of devotionals for those of us running, but I decided to share it with everyone. And it might help. And I just want to insert this and let you keep going because I don't want to interrupt your flow. But to me, it helps too. when I'm in the rough spot, like to set an intention for my workout, maybe for someone else too, like,
Yes.
um, or for myself. It's okay to set it for yourself. So, like, I love how you're sharing this, like, about bringing your emotions to the workout, whether it's frustration or anger or even sadness. Like, I know my workouts were very healing the past couple months
Mm,
through grief. I cried during some of them, but I needed it. Like, it was a
yeah.
good way to get it
Yeah,
out.
like it's a release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I love that you're sharing that. And if you guys want, I can make sure whoever your coach is can get this. It's just a scripture for each day to think about so that you're not, maybe if you self bully, sometimes it helps to have
Something.
a scripture to think on, kind of like an affirmation, but it's like God talking to you. So it's,
Yeah.
and then having that intention um, that you can set. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yes. Yeah. 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 And the thing, affirmations are really good, but the thing is that we need to believe them. There was actually like a study done. Shalene Johnson shared it one time on one of her podcasts about how like affirmations are only beneficial if we believe them. And the thing with affirmations is we can come to believe them. So something that I did when I was overcoming my eating disorder, first step was realizing what I was feeling and the way I was viewing myself. The second step was to challenge myself to overcome that negative self-perception. And I did things to show myself that I was more than I thought I was. So I was writing the story basically of the proof of that certain affirmations were actually true. Like, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am accepted, I am worthy, I am talented, blah, blah, blah. And what I also did was I prayed a lot and I poured my heart out to God, because as I was challenging myself, and we do this in our health journey, the feelings were not good. I was trying to overcome, my insecurity. And that was hard work. And I came to the Lord and I just would pour out my frustrations and my sadness and my guilt and all of my feelings. And then too, when I experienced joy and victory and accomplishment, that too. Um, because the thing is, guys, is we are precious. I had this huge light bulb moment on Friday morning where I realized I just kind of like saw my life flash before my eyes, and like every prayer I had ever had just answered, and God like protecting me in every step. And the thing is, God works all things good for those who love him. So go to him and know that he knows every tiny minuscule detail about you. He knows the way you love, he knows the way you receive love, he knows your temperament, he knows the things that make you passionate, he knows the way people talk to you that make you feel connected. He knows all of these things because he's made you that way. And he works all things good for those who love him. So run to him. If you're doing 30-day breakaway, run with him. Eat with him. Track your food with him. Take your measurements in your before and after pictures with him. Get dressed in the morning with him. Look in the mirror with him. And ask him to love you and heal you and help you to see yourself as he sees you. Because we have these goals and we know what we need to do. But at the end of the day, we're just simply called to take care of ourselves. We are called to take care of ourselves because we are made in the image and likeness of God. Our emotions, our feelings, what we look like is made in the image of God, and it's good. And we're called to take care of that. when you look at your goals and you look at your plan, give yourself a little bit of grace, because when things get hard, give yourself permission to feel that. Get curious with what is coming up and ask yourself what you need. And if you get derailed and you eat a tub of cookie dough because the feelings are just really, really hard, just know that it's okay. You have not failed. You have your whole life to take care of yourself. And that's why quick fixes are not the answer, because we don't just aim to hit a weight and then all our problems are solved and we can go back to eating, chips and queso and margaritas and ice cream and pizza and nothing else. Like, we have to take care of ourselves every single day. And that means we have to face the things that get in our way. And a lot of times that's just the way we feel about ourselves, the way we feel about the things that have happened to us in our lives. And if you get curious about your emotions and some really hard stuff comes up, go to therapy. And I'm saying this because I go to therapy and I don't have time to go to therapy. It doesn't work in my schedule, but I had to go to therapy and I made it work. And the thing is, your coach, me, whoever your coach is, we're just your cheerleaders. So if something really, really hard comes up, we can support you and encourage you. But sometimes we need professional help to overcome some really hard things. So, and that is taking care of yourself. So yeah, when things get messy, get in that place and figure out what you need, and know that you are precious, know that you matter, know that you are a complex and unique person, and you have your whole life to take care of yourself, and you're called to do that. So that is what I really wanted to share with you guys tonight.
So good. So good. I love that you shared it. I wrote down a lot. I wrote, get curious and ask yourself what you need. I love that concept of getting curious with your feelings. You know what I mean? Like, not, don't be afraid of them. And I love how you talked about like getting dressed with God and like getting ready. Like even today, taking my before photos, it's my prayer for y'all after 7 years of this. I used to take my before photos and find every single area that I wanted to fix. And every picture was like a pointing. And today it was like, here's my before, let's see what the after, it's like an adventure. And not that I don't still have days that I'm like frustrated that things fit weird, or like I eat a whole pint of ice cream, or but I love how you talked about inviting God in to like see the wonder that y'all are. So
yeah.
good.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, I mean, I weighed nothing when I had an eating disorder, and I love who I am so much more now than then. And the evil one takes good truth and he twists it. And so it can be so hard to understand, why we can't see the good and what's good and whatever. So sometimes we just kind of have to like take the noise and the comparison and just throw it out and get in it with him and ask him what he sees, because truth of the matter is, like, your before photo and your after photo can have lots of inches changed and lots of muscles gained and things like that, but you're still the same you're still made in the image and likeness of God, no matter what your scale tells you. And if you really want to be consistent in taking care of yourself every single day, you gotta work on seeing yourself the way he sees you, because it's not up to anybody else. It's not up to you. It's not up to the whole world to say you're beautiful. It's just a fact. It is fact. You're a reflection of God. And as there's only women on here, I don't know who listens to our recordings, but as women, I truly believe that we have a special privilege of reflecting physical beauty of God. And it's not because you look like everybody else, or because you fit the trend, or you fit the most popular size jean. It's because of who you are. You can't do anything to change that. But that doesn't mean you can't take care of yourself. That just is more of a reason to take care of yourself. Because God wants that for you. You're precious to him. And he knows that together you guys can take care of you, So, anywho.
Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. So does anybody have any questions?
I don't look at the chat at all.
Yeah. Becca, you will. I'll tell you, you will. That's the goal of this team. No matter who your coach is, the goal of this team is it's totally fine to want to lose weight or to fit into a certain pair of pants. I have my favorite jeans and I want them to always fit. You know what I mean? And it's okay to want to I told my husband the other day, because growing up, my sister's super athletic. She was a pro tennis player, almost pro. I mean, she was really good. And she's 10 years older, but she'd flex and I'd flex and she'd go and squeeze my, it's just what a big sister does. But I told my husband the other day, I was I just want to flex my arms, and I have a little bit of a bicep, but I've never had strong arms. So I'm I just want to have, it's a goal, you know what I mean? To do push-ups on my toes is my goal. 25 on my toes one day would make me think I was Superwoman. Because even after all this time, I still have to do them on my knees. But my point is, what?
Same here.
Yeah. So, but my point is, but even in that, what's been a gift for me to go through, and why I love walking through this together in community, is that even in my postpartum journeys, I've seen my body and not looked at it hatefully, where I remember after my first few children, crying about how my body looked after having a baby. I was almost traumatized, also because someone told me to take my first trimester jeans to the hospital to wear home, which was the dumbest thing to ever tell a new mom. Stretchy pants.
I wore the same pants going in and coming out.
Yeah. But my point is, you will have that transformation because you have the community to pray you to it, and the tools. I mean, the workout programs and the nutrition is there, but then that mindset piece and the faith piece. And I do agree with you for affirmations, Megan. And that's why whenever I write affirmations, I write them and root them in a scripture. So they're never my wording, because our wording, even if it's the kindest, is still flawed compared to God's. But no, this was so good. And I love, all of this. And I think it's so needed, especially as we head to the holidays, so we can enjoy food because it's a gift, and enjoy movement, and just enjoy the process,
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know about you guys, I like holidays, but they're kind of stressful when I'm around a lot of family. So I work out to put myself in a good mood to be around some people in my family that I love, but I need the endorphins because they're a lot. And I'm probably like that for some people too. So whatever, but no, this was so good. Do you mind praying us out?
Yeah, sure. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this opportunity to share what I've learned with others, and just thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for this community and for the ways that you have drawn each and every one of us to it. Lord, you had a purpose in that, and it is good, and we are supposed to be here. It is your will, and it is good, and I just praise and thank you for that. Lord, I just ask that you pour your blessing upon each of these women. Help them to know you more, to know themselves before you more. Lord, I know that you are a healer, and I know that you are love itself. And I know that you have healed me, and you will heal these women, and you will continue to heal me, Lord, until the day I'm with you forever in heaven. Lord, I just ask that you help us to not be afraid, of the emotions that we experience when things get hard. And I ask that you get in that arena with us, remind us to invite you into that place and to trust you, Lord, to know that you are always with us, even when we don't feel it, even when we don't understand, even when we don't hear the answers to our prayers that you are giving us. Lord, I just ask that you help us to be faithful. Help us to rest easy tonight, and to just come to know you more and to see ourselves more in the light of your love this week. We ask all these things in your most holy name. Amen.
Thank you, guys. I will get the recording up. And for everyone listening to the recording, thank you for taking the time. And just remember to mark your calendars for Mondays, because I know it's a bit of a time shift, but I think it's working out well for everyone. Megan, you rocked it. Thank you, Mama. And the baby behaved.
No, a miracle.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.